Alright, we only have 28 minutes of battery life, so this is our first ever video review.
For unqualified gamers.
I forgot our new tagline. Welcome, gamer, friend, lover, Roman, Trojan, lover.
You said that one. So, as you can see, Cody and I are in fact different people. We are now occupying the same space, and so all of your fears can be abated, right? Because I know people were concerned that you and I were in fact the same person because we were never in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, that happened.
It was a legitimate concern.
That did definitely ever happen.
Right. So
Ever.
We are here in the same space, like we promised you we would be.
It's the first time, the last time, the only time. The good times, the bad times.
I'm going to make sure it's the last time because I'm probably going to kill you when you leave.
The ugly times.
Actually, I'll kill you before you leave.
Okay. Hey, look at that game in the background. Look at that video game on the screen.
Yeah,
what is that?
so-
what is that? What is that game? What is that game in the back? What is that? What is that? You have a baby, so I was like,
Sure.
talking baby.
And maybe he'll like this game.
Yeah. I see. That is a good intro.
So
good.
Today, actually, the day we record this, I was born today.
It's John's birthday. Happy birthday, John.
I was born today. Of many years ago. Many years.
Look what I got him. Look what I got him. It's this video game. Remix. There's a. See that number? It's the number. It's the number 2.
It's on the screen behind us.
Well,
We
yeah,
can
but
see the
it's
screen.
better if I. It's
So Cody was nice enough to gift me NES Remix 2. He was also nice enough to play through 95% of the game, so I didn't have to. So let's talk about NES Remix 2.
Let's talk about NES Remix 2.
I knew nothing about this game. I really didn't. I knew they came out with one, and it was $15. And then about 2 weeks later, they released 2.
It was 2 months later.
For $15, though.
For $15.
Another $15.
Yeah.
Typically, with the sequel, I don't know if this continues the storyline of the first NES Remix, but I would assume sequels would improve in quality. That's the general... that's the general objective when you make a sequel, right? You would like to improve on the quality of the first one.
I think the objective of a sequel is to make more money.
As a creator of something,
Okay.
you would probably want the second iteration of something to be better.
Like how this is our first video review, and so it will probably be the worst.
Right.
Okay.
Because we would like to improve
Yes.
the next time we do a video
Yes,
review.
I would like for the next
So-
video to review to not include John.
And that might improve it.
Would improve it.
So, I assumed that NES Remix 2 might be better than the first one. Now, I never actually played the first one, but from what you have told me now, NES Remix 2 is actually worse than the first game.
Yes, in the words of the late, great Dennis Hopper, it has de-evolved. There's a quote from the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
So the first thing you do, and we could actually show on screen here, the first thing you do is you get access to a couple of games, of which there are, I don't know, like 5 to 15 challenges. They give you challenges, right?
7 to 20, but close.
Yeah, and there's like 10 to 15 games that have these challenges there. And the challenges are such riveting things as collect 5 coins in Mario. And then there's like 5 coins right in front of you and you run through them all. And then you've won! You've won! Gameplay! Or it'll be Metroid and it'll be the challenge
Get
is...
the freeze beam.
The challenge is literally get the freeze beam, and they start you in the room with the Chozo statue, and you have to shoot the power-up orb that the Chozo statue is holding and jump on it.
And jump on it.
And there's no enemies or anything, it's just...
It takes about 4 seconds.
Right, so it
3
takes...
to 4 seconds.
Sure.
There's literally no difficulty.
Right.
At all.
Yeah, because you're not doing anything. And then there's a time limit, and based on the amount of time that it takes you to do nothing, because it's often what you're doing in these challenges, the amount of time it takes you to do that determines your score at the end. They rate you from 1 to 3 stars.
Yes.
Right?
Or 3 stars with a rainbow. You get 200 bonus points for collecting for getting the rainbow around your stars.
Right.
And points, every couple thousand points or something, gets you a new stamp that you can use in your Miiverse posts.
And then stars also unlock new stages for you to dislike.
Yes.
Great.
No, actually no. Well, every handful of stars you get unlocks a remix stage, or if there's remix 1 is like a 20 remix playlist, then remix 2 has another 20 or so. Then there are the bonus stages, which are more remixes plus additional games. Like, there's no dedicated playlist for ice hockey, the original NES ice hockey, but you get a few ice hockey challenges in the bonus playlist. So like the main games are like Mario 2, Mario 3, Kid Icarus, Metroid, Punch-Out.
And that's where you find the challenges like, Punch-Out is like, land 3 hits to the face.
Or hit the minus button to use an uppercut.
Yeah, or use an uppercut.
Yeah.
Right. That's a challenge.
Yes.
And that's the game.
Yeah.
Here's what I thought NES Remix was. And here's kind of what I want it to be. I thought that NES Remix was, like, every stage was like a mashup of games. There was a Flash game that came out, and remind me of the name of it, where you
NES crossover. Super Mario crossover.
Super Mario crossover.
Yeah.
Where it was basically I think it was the entire game of Super Mario Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Only you could play it as just different characters. Characters like Samus for Metroid. Characters like Mega Man. Characters like who else was in there?
Link, the guy from Contra.
Yeah, and it was, you used their mechanics from their games just in Mario. And the idea was really cool.
Yeah.
And it got a lot of buzz when it was out, and it was just, released for free by this guy that made it.
So like for Mega Man, instead of jumping on a Goomba, you had to shoot it 5 or 6 times.
Right. So that's what I thought this was. I thought this was going to be like, it's going to be a Punch-Out stage, and you're going to be Little Mac, and you have to knock out King Dedede, who they have created like a punching structure for, you know, and so that would be within the context of Punch-Out.
Right.
Or you would be Kirby, and you would be in the Mushroom Kingdom, and you could, get Goomba's powers by sucking them and eating them, or Koopa Troopa's powers. Or Lakitu's power, something like that, right?
Those all sound like cool ideas.
Yeah, and those are two incredibly off the top. There's far better ideas that you could mash these games up with. And that's what I honestly thought this was. I thought this was going to be a mashup of a bunch of different games. When in reality, it is you playing 4 seconds of a chunk of each of these games individually. Mm-hmm. A majority of the time. 85 to 90% of the game is that.
90 to 95% of the game.
90 to 95% of the game is just you playing these little 4-second chunks. Oftentimes, without there being a challenge anywhere in there. It's just like walking forward.
There is virtually no challenge in this game.
And then they have these stages you unlock, which are the remix stages. And those ideas that I just said that sounded kind of cool, well, they've decided to come up with worse ideas and make those as their remix stages. So, for instance, one of the remix stages that I just played was you were Kirby and you were facing the... What the hell's the tree's name?
Willy Wisp. Willow the Wispy Woods guy.
Yeah, the Wispy Woods guy, the big tree.
The tree
that
from
you
Kirby.
he drops apples and you suck them and you shoot them out as stars to kill him. The only thing that they've added to make it a remix, though, is they've added a line of boos that move incredibly slowly if you are turned away from them, just like in Mario. So
ghosts, boo the ghosts, not a line of booze like alcohol bottles. To be clear.
Yeah, I think that was very confusing.
I don't think it was implied. I don't think it was implicit.
Okay, so they move incredibly slowly, and then there's just apples falling. So rather than face Wispy Woods, you just face away from him and suck up the apples and shoot them at him. And
John beat that challenge in 12 seconds.
Right.
12 seconds.
And that was one of the big unlocks. That was one of like the remix stages that's supposed to be the showcase of the game.
Other remixes that aren't crossovers are you do an airship level from Mario 3, but every few seconds the airship completely disappears, so you can only see cannonballs, and so you don't know what the floor looks like. But they put you in the airship from World 1, so there are no pits. It's just you running and not being hit by cannonballs.
Which is not hard.
It is incredibly easy.
Again, I was expecting crossover. I was expecting different games in other games that they wouldn't normally belong. The other remix stuff that they do is they just change the rules of a game. So there was a Dr. Mario one, for instance, where you would see the pill that was coming, and then it would be in black and white, basically, when it came out onto the board. So you would know before it was released what the colors were on it, but then once it was released, you could no longer see the colors. So you just have to remember.
Which is kind of cool in theory, but you're on level 2.
There are 4 viruses to take care of.
There are 4 viruses, you're on a speed of 2, and if you have the short-term memory of anyone beyond like a 3-year-old,
right,
it's going to be, it took you about 15, 20 seconds,
yeah,
12 seconds.
Sure.
Very fast.
So, I don't get it. I don't get what they were I don't get what they were going for.
There is a group of remix stages in the Remix 1 playlist where you do play as non-Mario characters in Super Mario Brothers. So you can play as Samus in 1, you play as Link from Zelda 2 in 1, and you play as Kirby in 1.
Hey, that sounds great, right? Like, that's what we want.
Right?
Yeah, that's what we want.
So the challenge is, you're in a one-screen underground room with some bricks.
It's less of what I want.
And coins.
Okay.
And you have to collect 10 coins.
So this sounds even less like what I want.
So you have to break the bricks as these characters. There are no enemies. There is no danger to you.
There's a time?
For instance, as Link, you stab them with your sword, as you would in Zelda 2, but you're collecting coins.
So it's not fun.
It's a really bad game. It's a really bad game.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know who it's made for. It must be made for somebody...
Little kids.
It must be made for really little kids. But I don't remember it being pitched like that.
It is literally the easiest game I think I've ever played on a next-gen console.
Yeah.
It is so easy. Most of the challenges take between 5 and 9 seconds.
Yeah, and the problem is... The big problem is that they're not fun. And so the idea of making a star grab, so you have to beat them as quickly as possible to get this 3 stars, and if you don't, you can replay the level again.
In fact, if you fail the challenge and then just exit, you unlock the next level anyway. You don't have to beat the 13th challenge in Mario 2 to get to challenge 14.
It's like just participation
You just have to try it, and then if you fail and die, it just unlocks the next one.
Just like real life. If you fail and die...
Yeah, just like no other video game ever made. Ever.
Sure.
Ever.
The problem, like I said, is that it's not fun. They're not fun to play.
No.
And so, the idea to me of going back to the same stage, like maybe I can't get 3 stars because the time limit that it's set at is just, I can't beat the level that fast, right? Which is the only real challenge in the game if that's what your thing is, to get 3 stars. If the game's not fun to do that, I don't want to do the same level 5 times to try to get 3 stars, because it wasn't fun the first time.
There are a couple of levels where it's kind of hard to get 3 stars. I mentioned this in my NES Remix 1 review. There are a lot of, like, NES Remix 1, there were a lot of the really easy ones, but once you got a bit further, there were some really hard remix stages. Like a level in Mario, the original Super Mario Brothers, where you're automatically running right, and you just have to time your jumps to speed through the entire level. Like, that's hard. That's really hard. You have to know exactly what's coming up, and you have to time it right.
Sure.
And there were some that I never even beat because I just didn't feel like trying it over and over again. And those are kind of fun because it does present like a degree of challenge. But this game, the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out final challenge was fighting Piston Honda. So it's the Piston Honda fight, but he's already been knocked down once. So you only have to knock him down twice.
And he only has a little health to start.
Yeah, he's like at half health on his... After the first knockdown, he's at half health.
And Piston Honda is not even close to the hardest.
And he's not even close. No, they don't. You don't fight Soda Popinski. You don't fight the tiger, the Indian dude, the tiger guy. You don't fight anyone beyond him. You don't fight Bald. Well, you do a little mini thing with Bald Bull.
Yeah, you don't fight Bald Bull. The challenge is hit Bald Bull as he's running at you to do that instant knockout thing.
Yeah, it's Bald Bull is immediately tucking. He dives, and if you land the punch right, that's it.
And that's what you're supposed to. I mean, that's the challenge, is landing the punch right.
So the hardest challenge in Punch-Out is the 2 rounds, or the up to 2, I guess, knockdowns with Piston Honda, followed by watch the training video. Where you literally watch the video of Doc on a bike with Little Mac jogging. You literally watch it.
And then it clears.
Literally.
There's also a challenge.
Can I say literally again? I would like to say literally again. Like, you don't press buttons. There's no... You can set the controller on the table and beat this challenge. You can go in the next room and urinate in the toilet.
You could stay in the same room and urinate.
You could urinate on the Wii U gamepad while this is happening. I would not recommend this. And literally beat the challenge. Literally.
There's also a challenge that we saw earlier where you are introduced to Kirby, like once you unlock the Kirby game.
A challenge.
And the first challenge is watch a demo of Kirby.
So you watch Kirby's title screen for about 3 minutes.
Yep.
And you just sit there.
And you just watch it.
For 3 minutes.
And then you clear it.
None of that was in NES Remix 1. That is like a new level of insanity. In NES Remix 1, at the top of every playlist, you could optionally watch a little gameplay video to teach you how to play that game. So you would hit play and it's like a 60 to 90 second video of the basic game mechanics in case you don't know the game. And then that's it. Not you're forced to watch the demo. And in this game, they don't have any of those demo videos. And yet, they have ice hockey minigames in the bonus playlist.
Right.
So John tried to pick up and play one of the ice hockey games, and he had no idea how to control it.
I have never played ice hockey.
Because they don't give you a tutorial video.
Which I would watch.
But he also skipped to the third challenge of the ice hockey videos, so I'm guessing, I would bet, that the first ice hockey challenge is pass the puck to your teammate, and you literally have to hit A. And that's the challenge. That's part 1 of the challenge. Part 2 of the challenge is probably shoot a goal, and then you hit B and you shoot a goal.
Right in front of the goal.
You're right in front of the net.
Yep.
You don't have to aim it. You just shoot it. Maybe you press left when you do it, but that's about it.
Yeah, overall, I'm used to Nintendo releasing their own stuff, and even when it's for kids, it's really good, right? Like, that's what I'm used to. I was incredibly surprised at the quality of this. And the fact that it's $15 is insanity.
That is a ripoff.
It is insanity.
Do not buy this game for $15. Unless you honestly have a kid under 10, possibly under 7 or 8, who you really desperately want to introduce NES games to.
Or who you hate.
Now, it also does come with Super Luigi Brothers. So it does come with, on the main menu, immediately accessible, the entire original Super Mario Brothers, but flipped horizontally, and you play as Luigi.
Actually, you play Mario horizontally.
It's flipped horizontally. It's flipped this way.
It's a mirror image. Instead of running right, you run left.
That's literally what I just said. It's flipped horizontally. So instead of left to right, you go right to left. That is flip. Here's a horizontal plane, and here's a horizontal plane, and here's me flipping it. So where the top is here, and I read NES Remix this way. Now I'm reading NES Remix this way.
While I appreciate your generosity of downloading this game,
yes,
I now understand that you actually hate me.
I did not expect it to be this bad. NES Remix 1 certainly had its flaws, but as John mentioned, one would presume that the second game would have some better qualities, and some improvement.
And I swear that people talked about NES Remix 1 like it was like there was actually some good stuff in there.
There's some good stuff in there. Again, some really challenging stuff, some longer challenges.
But I mean, another big problem is that you got this for me, and you literally spent like 4 hours unlocking the stuff that's supposed to be good.
It was 2 or 3.
Right, but like the good stuff, the stuff that is supposed to be the mashups of games and then like the altered rules of games.
Right.
You spent like 3 hours unlocking that stuff. So you don't even get to play the stuff that is the best stuff.
Yeah. The basic challenges are painfully easy.
Right.
They're like tutorials. It would be like, you made a really good analogy earlier about how it could be a parody of modern day gaming. Right?
That wasn't me, but I'll take credit for it.
Okay, John can take credit for it. And it's basically like, if in the original Mario Brothers, there was a pop-up box that said, "Hey, run right to do this," and then
Enter the pipe.
Yeah, enter the pipe, like arrows everywhere, and like Navi the
Yeah.
Fairy, like instruction banners, in the air and things like that. And it's almost like Nintendo's just trolling us and being like, what if in the 80s people were dumb as bricks? How would we tell them how to play video games?
Right.
And then this game happened. And it's an aborted video game.
It's like all the wrong ways to tutorialize something.
It really is.
Right.
The concept of mashing up games, again, is great, but their execution is embarrassing.
It's like non-existent.
It's embarrassingly bad. Like, collect 10 coins. That's the best you could fucking come up with.
They could have just done get through World 1-1 and then had it be all their different Nintendo characters for their challenges.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and so you would just go through as you'd basically play NES mashup. Whatever.
Yeah, it'd be crossovers.
Yeah, it'd be that, only it would be it'd be their license doing that, and you would just go through like the first level, and you'd get all of like the killing the Goombas, the whichever way the person that you're playing. I mean, it'd be awesome.
If you could eat them as Kirby and then spit them at each other, or like get a power, I don't know what it would be, but they're like Waddle Dees.
Yeah.
Or even put Waddle Dees in Mario. Just have the regular Mario, but replace Goombas with Waddle Dees and the turtles with the flying Waddle Dees.
Sure.
And then it's just the same. It's presenting something a little bit new.
Right.
There's another level that he played. You fought the Dream Catcher or something, the Dream Master, the Nightmare, some guy in Kirby, and occasionally a giant bullet bill would fly across the screen.
That was it.
That was it.
That was it, though. That's dumb.
And it didn't add it didn't add anything.
Right.
It's like, I mean, adding the booze to the tree level, like, did that add difficulty? Not really.
No.
They were there, and it's like a cool idea, but very poorly done. But it's bad. It's bad.
Really.
Like, I'm
bad.
mad that it cost $15 for this. And apparently, if you buy both NES Remix 1 and 2, you unlock a challenge mode. So there's a special extra set of stuff that you can do if you have both games. Maybe those are good, but I highly doubt it if they were developed at the same time.
And that
as
is
Remix
asking
2.
a lot of a consumer to drop $30 on those two games.
I mean, I
that's
did.
I know, but I'm saying that's a lot of money.
And it is, but I
for
did.
this product, that's a lot of money.
But stupidly, I put them on two different consoles, so that was a mistake. My idea was, well, I see some of these early remixes in NES Remix 2 are really bad. I'll just get through those, then John can do the hard stuff, and then no. Just not.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy. Even John can beat the levels.
So viewer, thanks for joining us for the first ever video ever made, really.
Don't buy this game.
Don't buy this game.
Really don't, really. It's really bad. It's so bad. There's actually a minigame where Birdo sucks your
That's not true. That doesn't happen.
and you have to really fast. That's how you get
It's not
judged.
true.
In stars.
It's not true.
It's really true.
This is devolved. De-evolved.
De-evolved.